All right, thank you. Breaking overnight, a man is shot. Then the gunman fires at a Houston police officer before barricading himself inside of a building.
That scene's still active right now. Houston SWAT and hostage negotiators are in a Southwest Houston, outside a house, a Southwest Houston location, Bel Air Boulevard and Cook Road. That's where Janelle Fort is live.
Been injured.
With what we know right now, Janelle.
Thank goodness. And so far, there's been no loss of life. I think that's really important. But this morning, about 12:47 a.m., officers were dispatched to a shooting call at 12,300 block of Bel Air. Officers arrived at the Cafe Saigon behind me and learned that a suspect who had been refused entry the day before yesterday, for being armed into the cafe was back. There was a verbal altercation. At one point, the suspect actually fired a round, hitting an employee inside of the cafe back there. That employee has been treated and he's okay, and the employee is expected to survive. The officers, by the way, that employee's shot was actually a head wound it grazed his head, and fortunately it's a very minor wound. The officers actually started working the scene, and at one point witnesses told officers that the suspect had fled into an adjacent game room next door to the Saigon Cafe. The officers made an initial entry into the game room. They searched it. They actually had everybody come out, evacuated everybody who was in there. As they continued their investigation, they were recontacted by some other additional witnesses that said that the suspect had actually gone and hidden in a location upstairs of that secondary game room, the game room adjacent to the Saigon Cafe. Officers went back in and started searching, doing a secondary search, or while they were discussing, putting together an operational plan on how to tactical plan on how to safely search the upstairs. The suspect was spotted by one of the officers upstairs. Suspect was being given commands by one of our officers to show his hands. The suspect refused to comply with the officer's commands. At one point, suddenly a shot rang out from the suspect, and one HP officer returned fire when he heard that gunshot coming from the suspect. Since that time, the suspect has not been seen. A SWAT is in here, our hostage negotiators are in here. We're still trying to ascertain the condition of the suspect, the status of the suspect. He's believed to still be inside hiding. It's a very tight quarter. It's a tactically disadvantaged, difficult place to get in, so we're using different techniques to try to ascertain what the suspect's status is. The officer that returned fire is a 2-year officer. He will be placed on administrative leave, which is what we do after an officer-involved shooting, pending some things he'll have to do before we return him to duty. But he's in good shape. He was a little shaken up. He's contacted his family, let them know he was okay. So the scene is contained. We've got a great perimeter set up, plenty of resources here. What we're waiting for now is to try to ascertain the suspect's status. And again, he's somewhere upstairs in the game room adjacent to the Saigon Cafe. And so we have internal affairs out here, special investigations unit is out here from the homicide division. They will actually handle the investigation into the officer-involved shooting, and the DA's office will be here shortly. The other thing that will be, we have a problem in this area with game rooms. They attract crime, they attract the criminal element, and we believe that illegal gaming is part of what's going on at this establishment. So that will be another part of our investigation with our Vice Division to look into this. So you look around here, you see these buildings have more cameras than a bank. So that's kind of a clue, if you ask me. I don't think that people that are just selling Vietnamese food or cuisine worry about having that many cameras at a building. So we will be conducting a Vice investigation into this location as well. So with that, I want to open up the questions. But again, thanks for your patience. We are looking for a suspect, and that's what's been taking so long.
And we've been listening to Chief Acevedo talk about what is now a contained situation in Southwest Houston. A gunman had opened fire at an HPD officer inside the Saigon Cafe. Again, the situation is contained. Janelle Fort will have a live update for us in the next half hour.